What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Knowledge. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3-step notary plan to hit that 5K a month in your notary business. And after millions being made in the notary business, multiple 10K plus days where I brought money into my notary business, and then also almost going on 10 years of being in the industry, I know that I'm more than qualified to show you guys some of this stuff. So when it comes to how you can make that first 5K in your notary business, or just get there more consistently, I'm going to show you that 3-step notary business plan that can help you get there. And if you want to see numbers for yourself with whatever I talk about, go ahead and click the link in the bio. There you're going to see live numbers where I break down everything in my notary business. My bad, my voice is a little scratchy for some reason. Anyways, so your 3-step notary business plan, what is it? So the first thing that you need to understand is that you need to build a simple client pipeline. Build simple client pipeline. And the thing is, when it comes to most notaries, right? And let me take this out for you guys. Okay. When it comes to most notaries, they don't have a client pipeline. They have referrals. Many of the notaries I speak to on social media, and many of the students that first come to me when they come, they don't have a client pipeline. It's one of two ways where they get clients, right? It can either be through signing up for some of these signing services, and maybe they get money. You know what I mean? I'm saying? So you may be number 27th notary that signed up for a signing service, and when they finally get to you, maybe you'll get money, maybe. Or the other route is referrals. They might have somebody that's in their family or somebody that they worked with in the past refer them business, and then from there they have a client. Or maybe there's another notary that's been doing that has too much business, and they just refer something out because they can't handle everything. Those are really the ways where I see they get some business, and it's not sustainable. That's the only problem. It's not something that you can really make on. It's not a repeatable system on where you can make a full-time income and you know how much you're going to make each month. You might do good some months, you might do bad, but you need some more sort of consistency so that you can actually progress in your business. So one of the ways of doing that, like I said, circling back to the point, is building a simple client pipeline. Ways in which you can bring money into your business, that you can bring money into your notary agency without even having to rely on anybody else, because you can just bring that money in for yourself. So how do you do that? Those are going to be the different ways that I've talked about in previous videos. So I have a video called the Notary Hybrid System, and I break down, okay, these are the different things you could do. So that could be anything from doing paid advertising, that could do SEO, that could be guerrilla marketing, that could be local service. There's so many different ways that I broke down, and all you need to do is pick, I would say at max, 2 of these different ways, double down on it, because those are going to be the things that bring you into simple pipeline. And then from that step, you just get more and more focused in the business, and then that's going to bring you closer and closer to that 5K. But first things first is just understanding and asking yourself this: if you're honest with yourself and you look in the mirror and you say, hey, do I have a client pipeline? Like, how do I get clients? If your problem is like, hey, I need to do some marketing, then you possibly don't have any client pipeline. So think about it like that. That's the easiest way to explain it. That's the easiest way I can get it across to you. Next, you need to raise your average appointment value. When I say raise your average appointment value, if you're somebody that has been getting some business by yourself, or even if you get a signing every now and then, chances are is that you're not paying enough. You're not charging enough, right? If you're not charging enough, you're having to do more work to get to that 5K than other notaries are, right? If you charge a better amount, then you can do less jobs and you can get to that 5K without burning yourself out. The problem is when notaries first start off, they're in this state of like, you know what? I'm just going to take whatever money somebody gives me so I can do this notarization. And you do that because you want to bring some money in, or you may be broke, or you may be saying like, hey, there's a client right here in front of me, I need to take him. But you don't always need to do that. You need to set your price depending on your area, and then from there, then you choose whether you want to go to that appointment if it makes sense to you. If it makes the right amount of money and it makes that sense, then you do it. You don't just do every signing that comes in, because 50 signings down the line, you're going to be burnt out. You're not going to like the business anymore. You want to go to something else. So you need to find something that makes sense, that makes you actually want to go out and actually do these notarizations, right? Something that actually pushes you and it gives you the confidence, it gives you the energy to roll out of bed and do it. Because if not, it's not going to make sense. So, what is the way that you can raise your average appointment value, right? One of the things that I often tell people is just do the circle compact. So like the circle method that I have. You want to look at all the notaries in your area, right? Depending on how nitty gritty you want to get, you want to take a list of all the services that they provide for all these different businesses and take the number that they're charging for each of their services, and based on the specific service, you find the average. So if you found 5 different people that were in your area that are mobile notaries and they do power of attorney, for example, you need to find out what the power of attorney price is for each one of those notaries. And then you need to find the average. Whatever that average is, you can set your price there. So at least you're not one of the notaries that's going to be too low, and you're not one of the notaries that are too high. So you're right there in the middle. And trust me, doing that will be better off than trying to just do something off the top of your head. Like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to charge this amount. So it's better to do it like that because it puts you in a realistic category, and it puts you right there somewhere in the middle of the pack until you can learn what you're doing more. So that way you can progress yourself outside of the middle of that pack. So it's important to understand that there's different ways and different methods. And then also I have a method called the $5 method that I do as well that I can show you guys. And it's basically, in a nutshell, you just keep raising that price by $5 until you hit a barrier, letting you know, like, you know what, I can't charge past this point because no one is willing to pay it and it's not making any sense. But at least by that way, you're bringing out money more and more. So next up, going to the third thing, track weekly revenue goals, right? So a lot of people are kind of like a ship, and I use this analogy in many videos, but it's the easiest way for me to help visualize it for somebody else that may not be good as just listening. So when you don't have any revenue goals, if you don't have any concrete goals that you've written out, especially when it comes to making money in your business, it's going to show. You need to say, like, I want to make this amount of money, so that way you can reverse engineer it, right? So if the plan is to make $5K a month, you know that you need to make $1,250 a week. So you need to know how many appointments you need and what each one must be worth in order to get there. So that way you're making sure that you're not undercharging and going to all these appointments for no reason. And you can actually track your KPIs and measure, like, hey, am I actually staying on track? Am I doing what I need to do? You don't want to just be oblivious. What I tend to see a lot of different people do is when they get into the notary business or any type of business, because I've opened up so many, but the people I always see that don't really succeed are the ones that just say, well, I just want to make more money. That's it. The motivation, even if you do want the money, your motivation or your self-talk can't really just be like, hey, I just want to make more money. Because then that's just so ambiguous. What does that even mean? How much is just you want to make some money? What is that? What? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Have a number. Like, I want to make, if I could make at least this, I think I'll be okay. If that's the case, if that number is 5,000 for you, break it down. Like I said, that's $1,250. That's $1,250 a week that you need to make. So then you break it down to amount of days, and then you can break it down to amount of hours. So you know, okay, every hour I need to be making around this on average, so you can get closer to your goal. That's actually how you measure it and actually get closer and closer to it. But these are the 3 simple steps that I'm saying that will help get you to that 5K a month. And like I always say, guys, a lot of this stuff isn't really rocket science. It's more so just, it's executing. The time from which you learn information and the time from which you execute it is going to be the big determinant factor on how successful you get it. If I'm telling you this information and it's taking you watching 10 videos of mine for you to actually execute, it's going to be a lot harder to be successful versus the person that hears it, internalizes it, and then they just go out there and they do what they need to do. So super, super, super important to get out there and execute as soon as you get this information. You have 3 different phases where you can start. In the knowledge accumulation phase, you're just learning, and then after that you need to go ahead and execute, and then after that you need to look back at what you executed, see if there's any mistakes, make some iterations, then learn how to do better, and then you just keep going in the circle of then testing more. So that's what you need to understand. That's how you actually progress. That can get you to the 5K a month, which is a lot easier than a lot of you guys are thinking. And if that's the number that you need to get away from your job, then you need to make sure that you're locked in and you're focused on it. But like I said, I won't overcomplicate this. I won't make this more longer than it has to be. I just want you guys to understand that. And that's really the big picture. But if you're one of the people that are watching this video and you want to make 5K a month or like 10K a month, or you just want to build a real notary business, then you need to go ahead and click on the link below so that I can show you that free training. In that free training, you're going to see exactly how it works. It's going to break down the back end, and I'm going to pull up numbers so you can see everything for yourself. But as always, make sure to stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and your boy Knowledge is out.